Welcome! You've seen change initiatives come and go. Some succeed, many don't. Today we're breaking down AIM, the accelerating implementation methodology, and why it helps you move beyond just installing to achieving real results. AIM is structured, repeatable, a full system, principles, tools, strategies, tactics. They all work together. It's not checklists, not templates, not tick the box. Think of AIM as your risk dashboard for the people side of change. It's like the dashboard in your car. You don't wait for the engine to fail, you watch the gauges. When the fuel is low or the oil light comes on, you act before the trip stalls. AIM gives you those warning lights for change, so you can respond in time. For decades with global leaders, we've seen the same barrier: installation versus implementation. Most organizations fall into the installation trap. Think about a corporate learning program. A company buys an expensive training platform, gives everyone access, and sends out an email saying, "Here's your login." On paper, the program is live. Boxes are checked. But managers don't make time for it. Workloads don't shift. There's no reinforcement or recognition for learning new skills. Employees ignore the platform, skip the modules, and daily behaviors don't change. The company spends money, but no capability is built, no value is delivered. Another example. It's like buying a treadmill and using it as a coat rack. You spent the money. You set it up, but it delivers none of the benefit. Implementation means more. On time, on budget, technical objectives met. Business objectives met. Human objectives met. And those human objectives? Observable new behaviors. If nothing changes in behavior, you haven't changed anything. So who makes change happen? Here's the cast. Champions back the change but don't have authority. Agents implement the change and are judged on whether it sticks. Sponsors, the most critical role. In AIM, sponsorship drives success. Two types: authorizing sponsors, senior leaders who approve and provide resources. Reinforcing sponsors, managers who reinforce with their own teams every day. And then the targets. They're most impacted. They must adopt the new behaviors. Now, the AIM roadmap. It gives a simple, clear picture. Practice Area 1, define the change. We include the 5 success metrics: technical, business, and human objectives. If behaviors aren't identified up front, you can't measure adoption later. And without that, you can't build reinforcement strategies that work. Implementation starts here, defining success not just in deliverables, but in what people will actually do differently. Here's an example. I was flying to New Jersey, and the lines at the airport were unbelievable. My first thought, I'll never make this flight. But then something different happened. Delta agents didn't stay behind the desk. They came out. They walked the line, moved parents and luggage forward, and helped passengers directly. That shift in behavior, stepping out from behind the counter, changed the whole experience. People moved through quickly. I made my plane. That's what AIM means by human objectives: observable new behaviors and that create measurable impact. In Define the Change, we also look at the gap between where we are and where we need to be. The bigger the gap, the greater the effort. That's why the business case for action and the foundation matter. And they're not one version. They must be translated for each audience. Every group needs to know why the change matters. What's in it for them? What does it mean for me? And how they will be measured. Practice Area 2, build change agent capacity. Implementation doesn't happen top-down. It happens local. That's why every impacted area needs a capable agent, skilled, credible, influential. Too often, organizations pick the subject matter expert as the change agent. It's like asking the best coder in the company to coach a soccer team. They may know the playbook, but without credibility and influence, the team won't follow. The change agent assessment tool helps identify the right people. Practice Area 3, assess the climate. We look at the organization's past implementation history and today's competing demands. No change happens in isolation. It happens in the middle of everything else. Practice Area 4, generate sponsorship. Nothing drives adoption faster than a visible sponsor cascade. A sponsorship cascade is like a row of dominoes. If one doesn't tip or falls the wrong way, the ones after it don't move. But once it falls in alignment, momentum carries all the way through the line. If the other dominoes do not fall, you have to go back and get them aligned, or a black hole forms. Good sponsorship is visible, ongoing action. It comes from positional authority. Practice Area 5, determine the change approach. Compliance-driven changes linked to mandates use directive methods. Commitment-driven changes require buy-in. Most initiatives have both. The key is matching your approach to the nature of the change. Practice Area 6, develop target readiness. Readiness is about spotting and managing resistance. And resistance will always exist. The individual readiness assessment helps identify it early so we can manage it before it slows us down. Practice Area 7, build the communication plan. Here's where many fail. They think communication equals implementation. But a one-way communication plan is like shouting into a megaphone at a noisy concert. You make sound, but people don't absorb it. AIM communication builds two-way loops, so you're not just talking at people, you're hearing from them. Practice Area 8, develop a reinforcement strategy. Reinforcement is the most powerful lever you have. It locks in the behaviors required for change. Consistency matters. If sponsors talk quality but reward cost cutting, you've got a problem. It's like telling your kids to eat healthy while stocking the fridge with candy. The behavior you reinforce is the one people adopt. AIM puts reinforcement center stage, because without changed reinforcements, no new behaviors stick. Practice Area 9, create cultural fit. Culture is how things really get done. Culture is like a river current. You can build the best boat, but if you paddle against the current, you'll exhaust yourself. AIM helps you either change the current or use it to carry you forward. Final practice area, prioritize action. This is where the implementation plan meets the project plan. AIM is not rigid. It's fit for purpose. You use the practice areas and tools that match your situation. These practice areas are essential. Define the change. Generate sponsorship. Develop target readiness. Build a communication plan. Develop a reinforcement strategy. Think of AIM like a toolbox. You won't use every tool on every job, but without the essentials, you can't get the work done. That's AIM, not theory, practice. A full system for making change real. So you don't just install, you implement. Remember, the treadmill only works if you get on and use it. That's how you deliver results that last.